We are going to go over this simple invitation again. Please be comfortable. You can sit there. It's fine. It's good. We're going to go over this invitation again. You have translation? You don't need? Okay. I am presenting it in this way. If it was presented to you, as I am now saying, the possibility of recognizing the truth of yourself in such a profound way, it is beyond opinion. Would you be up for it?
Yes.
Can I see you? Would you be up for it? Yes. If you are not up for it, then don't participate. You can do whatever you want to do. But if you are up for it here, then I will proceed. I said, you have approached and you have said to me, Mooji, it's going around, people are saying that you can help people to wake up to the truth of themselves. And I want that now. I want to wake up to that now. Is that you?
Yes.
And I said, okay, well, I can't guarantee, but I'm pretty sure if you're open, you can see. Now, you have knocked on my door and I've said, who is it? You said, I've come for this thing. I said, yes, you can come in, but like you do when you came into the mandir today, you left your shoes outside. I said, please leave your shoes outside. And also leave your mind outside. So we started like this. And of course, people say, oh, shoes is easy to leave. How can I leave my mind outside? I thought you said it's easy. I say, yes, I'm going to show you how it is easy. By leaving your mind outside, I mean, when you are here with me for this short period of time, please don't speak about the past. Don't want to hear about your memories, what you did before, how long you've been doing Vipassana and all these things. I don't want to hear about it. Don't know your age, your lineage, nothing at all. So don't talk about it. And so also, I don't want you to speak about the future. It will not going to help. So the future, like I hope in the future we're going to live in this kind of world that looks like this, and I want people to be like, we're not going to talk about that. That's not helpful. If what you want to find is the truth of you, then we are not going to speak about the past or about future, because we don't know what future is. God alone knows. And about the past, anyway, it's full of interpretations and so on. So don't speak about past, don't speak about future. Do I have you on board still?
Yes.
Okay. Also, about who you take yourself to be at the moment, whatever self-opinions you have, whatever identity you're holding on to, just suspend that for now. Leave it outside. And I can guarantee you that when you want it back, it will be there waiting for you. Be sure. It's not going to walk off. Okay? So about past and future, about self-image and who you think you are, and so on, so on, so, and any kind of type of person you think you are, all this stuff, I don't want to speak about them. You agree?
Yes.
Okay. So, and also, I won't ask you to use your imagination, because I'm not interested in imagination. So about imagination and creative thinking or visualization, I will not bother you with any of these things. Okay? So if we agree on this, come on in. So you're in. Close the door, sit anywhere you like in the space that I am, sit down, and we can continue. You're here now. With each word that I speak with you, it is only now. It is only now. Don't miss it, because I'm not going to repeat what I say. It's very simple. You're here. And you have left the whole idea about past, self-image, future. I'm not going to ask you to imagine or to visualize anything at all. We are simply here in the most simple and natural and effortless way. We're just here. Now often the mind is waiting for, okay, now that I'm here, now what? I'm going to say, now nothing. No next for a moment. And this is unusual because usually we are thinking, okay, now what are we going to do? And I'm saying, don't go there. Don't go towards next for a minute. So that you can simply be here. Not there, not next. So no expectations for a moment. Just avoid that for a moment. So that you can simply just relax. Nothing is expected of you at all. I have not asked you to suppress or control your senses. They can be fine. I've asked you to leave your thoughts about past and future and all of this. Leave it out. We're not going to talk about you personally in past or future. But you're here. You're still here. So I had to ask you to leave these things, leave them aside, and just to be empty and present. That's all. And just in the natural sensitivity of you being here, with nothing expected of you, you're simply here in this awareness feeling. So I'm going to refer to this as just the what is. I feel this is a very neutral term. You are here in this Isness. We are okay with this? Yes. Yeah, just whatever is, it just is. This sense of Isness. You have not created it, not asked you to create some feeling or to imagine some state. You are just here, unassociated with any frame of time or any images, empty of content. Now I want to ask you some simple questions now. This Isness, this is you and this Isness feeling. Did you create this Isness? No. Does it have a shape? I'm going to ask you for some feedback on this, okay? Does it have size? No. No. Color?
No.
Does it have a mood? From the back, can I hear you? No. Does it have any mood? No. Are there any judgments in it? No judgment there. So for instance, could it say, get depressed? Just the Isness, you know. Is it personal? Let me ask you, what about this one? Can it Can it be sick?
No.
If you were to fall asleep and you were not paying attention and you wake up, would it be gone?
No.
It cannot be gone. Where is this isness? Is it really on the ground, or is it floating, or where is it? Is it? It's everywhere. Can you move away from it?
No.
Here's a good one. How old is it? Huh? Ageless? Are we in agreement about that?
Yes.
Was it born?
No.
No, my God. So can it die?
No.
Really? Can it be tricked?
No.
Does it belong to any particular religious group more than another one or something? No. Does it matter if you're a believer or an atheist or something?
No.
Does it matter to it?
No.
No, not matter. Here's a good one. No wonder. How far away from you is it? Millimeters? Millimeters? Centimeters? Sorry? No distance. That's kind of like saying it is the same as you.
Yes.
Now, I'm asking these questions and I'm getting the same reply. Like, I don't see anyone looking around to see who is answering first. Like, from yourself you're answering. Am I right in this?
Yes.
And on no other subject can a room be all in agreement. So can we deduce that the reason for this is because this that we're referring to is yourself.
Yes.
Formless, sizeless, without shape or color, can never be sick, beyond judgment, imperishable, unborn. If you wish to change your mind, you can tell me. Unborn, uncreated. Distanceless. Can it be smelt? Can it be touched? Can it be heard? Can it be tasted?
Can it love? No. Yes.
How can we speak about anything which is beyond quality cannot be seen, cannot be touched, cannot be felt, cannot be tasted, cannot be heard, cannot be smelt, and be of the same voice in your perceiving. It can only be that it is being perceived beyond the mind. It must only be that you are seeing that which cannot be seen with these eyes because it is being seen with your heart. Therefore you can say it is distanceless. If this is you, who is it that is suffering in the world? Who is it who is afraid of tomorrow and I don't know how I'm going to cope, and who is this? Let's take a second.
Idea.
Can it be forgotten? How is this possible? How many are living inside this body? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many? Family? Who is the one? Who is the resident in this body? How many are they? So something has to get reconciled. An understanding has to take place. Who is suffering the world? Who is hoping for a certain kind of future? And who has had a certain kind of past? Because that feels also very tangible. It's got memory to back it up. So I say, we're living in the idea we have of who we are, and not in the reality of what we are. The idea, shaped by conditioning, first conditioning, that the body is what I am. It is there also, and it is innocent. And it is necessary for experiencing to take place, that the body is there. The conditioning, I am the body, I am my belief system, I am my conditioning, was enough to create the idea of a person. Whereas we have always been just this. Consciousness. Consciousness manifesting with form and with the possibility of identifying with that form and with the environment and the conditions and conditioning that surrounded that expression of consciousness in its embodied state, believing thus that we are the body and our conditioning, and yet fluctuating in our experiencing because our identity is not stable. From the place of identity, we always fluctuate. We promise today, and we break our promises tonight. We say, I will never do this, and the very same things we do. Because it seems it is beyond our control. And if we exercise too much control, in order to make the shape that we project as ourself be faithful to our projection, we end up with a strangeness, a tightness, a fear, a rigidity. So what is the true? So what I have said is that for a while, we are going to feel a little bit lost because of the impact of this understanding. We cannot as yet evaluate the greatness of this discovery that you have made today. And yet you cannot unsee what you have seen. You cannot take back what you have confessed to be true. Where will it all go? Is that going to be determined by your mind? No. I say, there's going to be a very beautiful unfolding. There will be some bumpy rides on the way. Because like a reflex and by the force of habit, something will keep going back to the old regime, the old mindset, the old identity, because that feels familiar, and that will always come to be the first to say, I know this. What to do? Well, let's look, because I gave another model which may be helpful here. In some countries, I know many people from European countries are here, and you may be from one of these countries that had a certain kind of currency, and then came the euro or something, and then there had to be a changing over of currency. So when this took place, I remember in my own case, when in England it went from pounds, shillings and pence to pounds and new pence, not quite euro yet, but it was still a change of currency. All the foods that we eat were still in the supermarkets and in the markets, and all the things are still the same. But the prices had changed. And everyone had to go back to the old thinking. What does it mean? £2.20 in the old money. People in old money here. It means this. Oh, and then we had to go back to the old to have a sense of the value of how much it's costing us in the new. You follow like this? A little bit something like this is going to take place because of the necessary transition to go from the model of the person to go into the space of presence and the space of consciousness again. We're going to keep going back to the person to get a measure of what it means for the person. What is the person losing? What's the person going to gain out of this? Okay? But the new currency is way beyond the old one. And this is where perhaps my example will not be the greatest, because this that you are discovering cannot be, it's not a currency. Nothing can compare to it. But like a reflex, we will go back to the person. When we feel some thoughts of insecurity come, you go back again to the person. But I am inviting you to keep contemplating the Isness. Well, how can you contemplate something that has no information? It's not a book, is it? It's not even a state, unless you can call it a stateless state, because states come and go, and this does not come and go. Do we see this or not? Yes. In spite of the fact that it does not come and go, is it stale? No. Is it dead? No. This is radical for mind. It's fresher than fresh because it is timeless. What to do with it? What's it useful for? The person wants to ask us, you see. The person mode always had a value system. What's it good for? What can I do? It will help me get a better job? Will it help me to find a life partner? Huh? Will it make me more sexy? Well, no. It will simply allow you to be the completeness that you are, the full joy that you are right now. From the perspective of the person wants to be a certain type of person, wants to be seen in a certain way. The Isness, what does the Isness want? Is that agreeable? Is that something that what is the value of Isness? Just be there. Just be present. Just be present now. Is the Isness waiting for the next moment? What does, don't fade, what does future mean for it? Please look together with me. Can it fail? Can it succeed? Does it need to? A voice comes along and says, well, what's the value of that? I want to do something I'm proud of. I want to be the best. The thing with that, it feels good to be the best, but it always implies someone has to be less good.
Unless you're a version of you, the best of you, every day.
Yes. Well, here I would say that from experience, every day becomes your best day. Every instant, the best moment. Check in. Is it real or imagined? I'm asking this question, is it real? That is that which I'm referring to as the Isness, which you know more than intimacy. You know it. Is it real or imagined? Real. Yes. Does it matter that you cannot speak about it or prove it to somebody? And yet, being free from delusion, being free as freedom itself, that fragrance is coming from you. That fearlessness, that openness, that love, that honesty, that joy, that wisdom is shining from you. But for a while, the mind is not going to just give up and say, oh, I'm no match for that. It will keep coming. But remember, you're not good enough. Look how many times you fail. There's so much more better persons than you for this. Why not go back to what you know? Can you bear the attacks from your mind? Time will tell. Is it possible to be with the Isness? Because although we have confessed it's not different from me, yet there's an aspect of the me that seems to be tied to time and to change and to identity. And it's that identity that gradually gets absorbed into the totality of Isness. What does it mean? That we are gradually erasing you from the universe? No. We are unveiling you as the universe. See it as you can, because in each one it will appear differently depending upon the influence of the mind. It can seem like, oh, but you're rubbing me out. You're rubbing me out. Or is it that you're being unveiled as what you are? Is-ness? Is anything wrong? And if someone should say, but why are you pretending like everything is so good? We know you're hiding something. How deep will those words move? How far will they reach in you? So therefore I say, in the beginning, it will feel like an effort to bring the attention to rest in the Isness. Not as a task. It may feel like a task when the mind is going, come. And, okay? But this that is going, mind or Isness? Who is this one? Attention. Gradually one comes to see that the Isness and the self are one. But for the beginning, it will be that you bring your attention consciously, feelingly, to abide in the Isness. Occasionally, a cloud passes that feels, and we feel we are drifting in our cloudness. But then it passes, and something is reminded, but I'm just here. And even the movement of attention itself is a kind of cloud. I'm not even my attention, in fact. It is just my most intimate tool. So much so that where the attention goes, I have the impression I have gone. But something watches attention moving also. Would I be right, or have I gone too far? Okay. With watching, start with the feeling of being, of Isness. Maybe at some moments, mind is racing so much, so fast, that it just feels something wants to say, oh, I'm just so confused. But that's just an idea. All it means is mind is running. Was mind running means you're running? This you must anchor as experience. It will feel like there's a tsunami. But there's right there a stillness. It might appear as a point. But if you stay only on this point, it will expand into infinity. When you come here, maybe for a moment, there's no movement, there's nothing you can do, the mind feels too strong. All these are thoughts. But they are thoughts to the Isness. If you come here and you're dressed as a person, it will feel like, oh, I can't stay here, I'm going to be blown away by this. Do you follow? But when you're here, just let the breath, just watch the breath going, watch the mind moving, feel the blood pulsing, and just be there. And gradually, a focus will simply begin to happen. Don't force, just be here. And a focus will somehow emerge in you. And from there, where do you go? Well, nowhere. Just somehow the isness seems to have a hold onto isness. And in that, the mind begins to subside in its pulsations. Notice I have not talked about daily life. Go about your life. Move in your way. It is all unfolding in the isness anyway. I wonder if we'd notice. Actions, reactions, interactions are all taking place spontaneously in the isness. Be in the place of the isness. Don't talk about it with anybody. Just get into the habit of being conscious of the isness until it becomes totally effortless. How does it feel? Does it feel like a burden? No. Now, it may feel, as you leave here, you may feel, oh my God, what did Mooji say about that again? I think I've lost the isness. I've lost the isness, man. I want to get the isness back. How can I get the isness back? But of course, all this will be a play in the isness itself. Even the feeling of losing the isness cannot be without the isness. It is like saying, I don't exist. Who is there to say I don't exist? Who knows I don't? You can say I don't exist as this or as that. But to even make the statement is evidence that you exist. To feel I am this and what am I going to do and I've lost the isness and I don't know how to get back to the isness, it should at some point break out into a laughter. But for some people it may take a long time. Knocking from door to door. God, you remember? You were there with Mooji. What did he say about the isness? You know, he says it is. What does that mean? You see? So all these little quirkiness, they come from the mind and not from the isness. Anybody feel lost? I saw some. Can I ask you something? Could it really be so simple? On the left. Whatever thoughts we have about anything, it is very difficult to sustain. Because if the thing does not change, our moods change towards it. Everything is in a flux, a conceptual flux, an emotional flux, meaning they're always moving. Something notices the movement and is not trapped in the bubble of any movement. That is your real place. Of course, for a while, we are deeply attached to an ideology, a philosophy, a personal mythology, an ism, a schism, something. But they pass. All things pass. Is it possible to find that which does not pass. When you discover or are discovering that which does not pass, then you are getting a hint of the dimension of divinity. What is passing is also divine. It is that aspect of divinity which plays as time and change and temporality. But it is not greater than the unmoving, the source from which all change manifests. I am not speaking to your head, because you can only really know and validate this inside your heart. It is not enough that you have a mental conception about this. Those who are here can begin to take it a bit more deeply inside. To that extent, you will grow more speedily. Your mind will be established in the beingness more speedily. But if we run to and fro between the is and the is not, or the want to be, it is as though a short bridge that we're meant to cross will keep extending and extending and extending. Don't build a house on this bridge. It is good?
It's very good.
Very good. No. Thank you. Okay. Very good. Thank you. Wonderful, wonderful.
I would have deeper gratitude to you. Point of my life.
You follow this advice, and every time it will take you here. It will keep pointing here. It will keep pointing here. It will keep pointing here. Just be here. You cannot spend enough time here. Anytime you feel in any place, just sit and clarify your position. If you come to the Isness and not to the person, you have done it. Keep being here, until the sense that you have done it is exhausted. Then it's done. Thank you. I feel that this is a fresh chance, a fresh stage in our evolution as consciousness. When I used to say in the past, we must become like the cow that jumped over the moon, because I heard this was a child. Hey diddle diddle, the cat on the fiddle, the cow jumped over the moon. I think, cow jump over the moon? What type of silliness is that? But it kept coming back. Who is this cow that jumped over? How can a cow jump over the moon? How can a cow jump over the moon? You see? And I said, no. The moon here means the mind. Can you jump over the mind? Who can jump over the mind? One time we were driving in India, we were coming back from Rishikesh, along one road, we were going, country roads going through, and it was marijuana everywhere. I was looking, Do these people know what this is? You know, sort of stuff, you know? All the wild is going marijuana. I don't know. Maybe you call it something else. Maybe it's what you call hemp or something. It was there, and all I could see, all going up into the hills, marijuana. And we could see some cows eating. So somebody says, Mooji, maybe these are your cows, the ones that are capable of jumping over the moon. I said, no. You must understand. What can jump over the moon? Meaning that anywhere you go to do with identity, you're in the realm of the mind. And nothing here is stable. It doesn't matter how deep a treaty you've written. Nothing here is stable. It is not in your hands. It will just appear so for a time. The only place that human beings stand a chance of being a true fellowship of unity, of oneness, is to jump over the moon mind. Jump beyond differences, jump beyond idealism, jump beyond personal philosophies, jump beyond opinions. If not even in the same family can you hold the same opinion. But when you have discovered the self, it is not an opinion. It is the only fact, a very stable fact. It is not a new religion. It is for everybody. For everybody you can do it, and it will strengthen your faith, strengthen your presence. You will speak from experience and not from opinion, not from speculation. Maybe you will not speak so very much, but what you speak will have power. It will carry presence. It will have an authority, at least the authority of your own seeing. And you will automatically begin to develop the mood and the feeling and the sense of the presence of God. Or the pure truth. Or formless awareness. And it has already begun. So, I want to thank you for your openness to embrace the invitation of looking. Now it is with you. This simple exercise, remembering, recognition, will grow in you, supported by grace and your openness, which is also supported by grace. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I would encourage those of you who feel that some things may not be clear to go to the website. You can look, and if something, you can find something there that again emphasize the points that may not be yet clear for you. contemplate them, meditate on them until they become your own. So, thank you.
Thank you.